Okay, so I'll have a look at exercise 9, and you can see here you're given the dimensions and the location on the cover sheet there. If you have a look through to the page in the notes, then go back. Yep. So I'll just great. So yep. And so you'll see then you're given it there as well, but you're only given the steps for the hatch command because all the other commands you've used previously. So just make sure with all of these that you read the introduction with each of these later exercises. And so the first part you can see is using the line and circle command. And so I'll put that on the screen just to the side so you can see it. I'll just minimise this. And just make that a bit bigger. That's a bit too big. Okay, so with all of those measurements there, you can draw first the circle, centre radius, and the coordinate there is 2000, 3100, just to locate it on the page. Enter, and then the radius is 1000. And then to draw the lines for the north point, you simply can snap to the quadrants on the circle as you're drawing your lines in the same way as you did the previous north point. And then you need to use your judgment a little bit. So the width of this arrowhead is 200 mil, and so you can use offset and then type in 200 for your distance, choose those angled lines and then pick below, choose the other one and then pick below, enter to finish, and you then get into the part where you need to use trim, which you can see then talks about in the introduction there, trim some of the lines. And it's a good chance to, oh that's right, well yeah, I'll have a look at what you can bring in a second, but with trim, and guys actually it's probably worth all of you having a look at this using the trim command, because there's a couple of tricks with trim that can make it a bit easier. So once you choose trim, you'll see that it gives you the option to choose cutting edges, but a really good step there is to press enter instead of picking anything, and that'll make everything a cutting edge. You can see on the command line it gives you this option, select all. So by pressing enter, you use that option in the angled brackets. So that's made everything a cutting edge, which means now I can pick any line and it should cut back to the nearest edge. And so I can also pick inside the arrow there, and I'll even take that one away. Right, so you can just go and pick on the parts you want to take away with trim, and that's often what you'll want to do, without worrying about choosing any edges. But you've got to remember to press enter at the beginning. So as soon as you start the trim command, enter first. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, exactly. So that's normally the way people use it. And so then you can, from that point on, follow through the steps using the hatch command. And you'll see the dialog box here is still, it's the old one, but it's got the same options if you go to the draw menu and choose hatch and bring up the new dialog box. So there's just a couple of things I can show you there. If you don't see the dialog box, that means you're using one of the new interfaces. So if it's on drafting and annotation, and even if you have the menus where you can choose hatch, or if you choose hatch on the ribbon here, You can, but it works differently. So you can see there, it doesn't give you a dialog box. It comes up on the ribbon there. You've got all the same options, but it does work a bit differently. So I'll press escape there, and I'll go to AutoCAD Classic. Yeah, just to follow through the steps. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, try the new method. It's actually better, but yeah, it's good to see all the options come up in that dialog box as well. So once you go here and bring up the dialog box from the menu, another thing to remember is that solid, the pattern that you want to choose here, you can see it's got solid, comes up in your list of patterns, but it's not alphabetically listed. I think they should put it in there, but this is just the way the programmers are. Because solid is the most common pattern you use, it's first in the list. So you just need to remember that solid is at the top. And then once you've chosen your pattern, you can go to pick points, pick inside the arrowhead. If you've got two, if you didn't trim that line, you can always just choose the two sides. And then enter to finish. And then OK. Right, so it's that easy. I'll finish that video there so they're nice and short.